Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Sarah. Welcome to my home in Dallas, Texas.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Like and subscribe for more.
Hi, I'm Sara Johnson with Sara Johnson Interiors in Dallas, Texas. So I live in my home with my husband, who's my college sweetheart, and our three boys. I have a senior in high school, a sophomore in high school, and a fifth grader, my male dog, and my male cat. So I live with all boys. It's a lot of masculine energy. So I try to design my house beautifully how I would want to see it, but durability is very important in a house with all boys. So my home was built in 1930s. All of the living spaces are on the first floor. So we have, our open concept kitchen and living area. We have a formal dining room. The original formal dining room I actually converted to a home office. And then all the bedrooms are on the second floor. So we all live on the second floor. And I think that's pretty typical of architecture in Dallas. I don't think I directly knew that I wanted to do interior design all my life, but there were always little episodes that I now look back on and I think, oh, I should have always done this from the get-go. I was always rearranging the floor plan of my bedroom. I actually had an antique bed and it would fall apart every time I moved it. The slats underneath would fall down, but I always had to be changing my space and seeing it in a new light. And then I had the opportunity to purchase some real estate in Dallas, and I renovated them, and it was time to sell them, and I decided to get into real estate so that I could capture all the profit on that. And from there, I sold real estate for a long time, mostly because I just loved interiors. And finally, about 5 years ago, I'm like, you know what? This is as good a time as any. I'm gonna do what I'm passionate about, and I started doing it professionally. Welcome to my foyer. When you enter into my house, it's got a step down right here. And so it was a little bit tricky with what to do on these two different levels. So we decided to put this awesome, beautiful, kind of hand stenciled pattern on the landing so that people could see this step essentially when they walked in my house without tripping. So that was a fun little accent that we did. On my stairs, I actually used an indoor-outdoor rug on my stairs because I have 3 boys and a dog and a cat. So I don't have any worry about people using the stairs up and down, throwing things on the stairs. It's extremely durable. This part of the banister was actually original to the house. Unfortunately, we could not keep the original banister. It kind of just fell apart in the renovation, but I held on to this little guy and popped it on. So I think that's kind of fun that it's original to the home. We added the panel to the wall. I love wallpapers and I love any kind of treatment on a wall. I think it's a really important part of design. And so instead of wallpapering the foyer, I chose to add some paneling. So coming off the foyer, this is my office. I actually work from home, so I have baskets full of textiles. But I try to keep it as organized as possible. I have lots of storage, and on this side is my bookshelf of all my treasures. I mean, my child did a portrait of me, and I am not blonde, but that's supposed to be me. And I just have just little trinkets from travel, family photos, my kids' art. So this space just brings me a lot of happiness to be surrounded in here with all that. This was originally a dining room in the home, and I converted it into my office. All of the bookshelves and cabinetry was added to be completely surrounding the room, and we added a very large round window. I love a round window. What I also love about this window is behind this fabric is actually corkboard. So on a normal work day, everything is pinned up on my corkboard, and it's just a fun way to use this space as basically my pin board and inspiration board. I don't know who that man is in that portrait. I was at my cousin's wedding in a small town outside of Atlanta, and I found that at an antique store and I loved it. And it's actually plexiglass, and it's been painted on top of plexiglass. I thought maybe I would purchase it for a client, but I kept it for myself. So I collect antique boxes. This was actually a wedding gift from a family friend. I collected this one on my own. I love collections. I think it gives me a little bit of purpose when I'm out and about in an antique store or I'm traveling. It's always fun to hunt for certain things. So I'm always on the hunt for an antique box. And another collection I have are baby cups, and that's in the other room. So it's fun to have a collection and also to display it. I've just put old photos in that box. It's just a prettier way to store things, I think. Also in my office, I just love to have a window bench, another great place to sit. It's actually the perfect perch for my little kitty. He keeps me company during the day. And I love the inside mount full length drapery as opposed to like a Roman shade. I think it looks pretty from the outside. Also what we did here is we did the liner in a pinstripe. So from the window outside, you see a pretty pinstripe instead of just a regular white drapery liner. So, and then the wall mounted lights are beautiful and with the exposed wire, I think just gives it a little bit more interest. For this room, we actually wallpapered the ceiling. There was no opportunity to wallpaper a wall in here, so we wallpapered the ceiling. I chose kind of the smaller pattern Geo, and I love it because it brings all of my colors together. It has the greens and it has some blues and it has some taupe, and so it was just a great way to pull all the different colors together in one area. So now I'm taking you into my dining room. When we purchased the house, this was an original formal sitting area. And since I had taken over the original dining room for my office, I wanted to allocate this as my formal dining. It's a little unexpected. It's not off the kitchen, but it's still super easy to entertain in here and serve food. It's in close proximity to the kitchen. Also, we have the original fireplace in here, which was so important to me to keep and preserve. I think it's just beautiful to have in a dining room. The mirror above it is my great-grandmother's, so that's really special to me. But I think the most special thing in the room is my grandmother's baccarat chandelier that came out of her home in Connecticut. So my mom had it created and shipped to me. It is originally, I think, probably 3 times the size, but I was able to find someone in Dallas who essentially took the whole chandelier apart and built it to the right scale for this room. So every crystal is original. It looks exactly like it did in my grandmother's room. It's just now the perfect scale for this room. This is also her dining room table and chairs. So those mean a lot to me. I did reupholster these chairs, and because this room is so traditional, I think that an unexpected kind of contemporary Geo made it really fun to put in here, and also the neutral brown just I think makes it work. So I did reupholster these, but everything else is original. And in this room, I also did a little bit of high-low. The wallpaper, the Gracie wallpaper, was really important for me to have in here. And so for the rug, I just chose a cotton drury, essentially. And so I think it's a good juxtaposition of high and low and even formal and casual. So it's just a little bit more approachable to come in here and even just eat a casual dinner. It doesn't have to be so formal. Oh, we don't use it a lot, unfortunately, but the area we do use, we don't sit at the dining room table as often as I would like, but what we do use is this area just off the dining room. I believe this was probably an old porch at some point. When we purchased the home, it had just some kind of faux columns in here, and again, they were using it as a sitting area. So my husband and I thought it would be fun to make it into like a bar. And so when we entertain, we like to just kind of hang out in here. So I feel like this area is used a little bit more than actually sitting down at the formal dining table. What I also love about this room is, again, going back to my grandmother's house, she had these leaded windows in her house. And my mom has copied the pattern, and now I have copied the pattern. And so I had these leaded glass cabinets made with her pattern on it. So these are really special to me. And then the hardware actually has my husband's monogram. So that's a fun little touch. I cannot take credit for these. So my friend Emily Miller, her company's Emily Miller Decor. She helps me with all my styling, and she creates the most phenomenal tablescapes. So she came over yesterday and thought these would be really pretty to have in my bar for the shoot. I think she told me these are from her husband's family, and they're very old and beautiful. I wish I had more of a story for you, but I don't. Everything Emily does or touches is beautiful. I would describe the style of my home as a traditional home. It's an original 1930s home. Brick facade, beautiful fireplace chimney out front. So we definitely kept the traditional aesthetic when we did our renovation. I am a homebody. I would call myself an extroverted introvert. So I do spend a lot of time at home. I need that time to kind of refresh. I think the favorite part of my home is my dining room. I love the Gracie wallpaper. It has a lot of sentimental pieces in there from my grandmother's home in Connecticut. And so when I'm in there, I'm surrounded by beauty, but it also brings a lot of beautiful memories back. So it's definitely my favorite room of the house. Open to the dining room is our family area. And I think because our home is such an open concept where the kitchen flows into the family room and then into the dining room, it makes it really easy to get food and everything into the dining room when I do entertain. So that's why I wasn't so concerned with the dining room not being in a proper location. This family room basically stopped about here. So we added on probably about 12 more linear feet that way. The fireplace, unfortunately, didn't survive, so we had to purchase a new cast stone fireplace. The original had awesome carving, but when we started the demo, it literally just crumbled. So that is a new fireplace. But in here, I've just mixed old and new and, artwork that we've collected, and just tried to make it a very casual, easy spot for my kids and my husband to enjoy. This desk, secretary desk, I found locally at a place called Lots of Furniture. It's this huge warehouse that you literally have to dig through, but I have found quite a few treasures there. I purchased it for my last house. It fit perfectly in between a set of 2 French doors. And I like it over here because this wall just kind of needed something. So it brings a little bit of height and some dimension to it. And I've just had some glass shelves made so I could display a few things. This is a picture of a home that we used to own in Taos, New Mexico. So that always brings us a lot of joy. And next to it, we actually bought this from a local artist in Taos, New Mexico. So it's got a lot of memories mixed in this area as well. In Texas design, Dallas design specifically, there's a big trend for game tables. And so a lot of designers and a lot of homeowners are requesting that game tables be incorporated into their living spaces. And I'm one of them, and it is great. It brings our family together. We have our game table here. This game table I found at a consignment shop in Newport Beach, California, and I love the little scalloped corners on it. And because of the traditional lines, I chose a more modern chair. I found this light fixture at Round Top from an antique dealer out of Florida, and I just think that the etching is really beautiful and the shape is very unique. I just learned how to play Mahjong a couple of months ago, and it is addicting. So I have now required that all of my boys have learned to play. We had lessons over the summer, so yes, I get to play often, and I have built-in kids to play with me. For my own home, I love wallpaper. I would wallpaper every surface if I could. So I always start with something on the wall, and then I like to layer in a lot of textiles. I think kind of one of my signature designs would be adding contrast pipe to an upholstered piece, a lot of details in the pillows, just to kind of give it a little bit of a detailed but casual appearance. For now, let's head outside, but I just wanted to point out one of my other favorite things to do, and that is a Dutch door. we are able to enjoy the outside quite often in Texas. And so it's nice to just have this open when it's beautiful. And this door was a little bit tricky because we wanted to have steel frame doors and it matches the front door, but in order to make it a Dutch door was a little bit of a challenge, but we got it done. And in all of my previous houses, I always have a Dutch door. It's also a very New England thing to have, so I'm glad that I have it. Welcome to the backyard. This backyard renovation all centered around the pool. This is the original pool, and so we decided to leave it, and we just turfed all the way around it. Turf is important to us with the boys and the dog. It just eliminates a lot of dirt and mud and grass tracking in the house, so the turf has been a great clean alternative for us. We also put in a putting green, and we have a basketball hoop on the other side just so we can attract all the boys out here and all their friends, and it's a great place just to be all together. I think one of the themes of my backyard is this scallop edging everywhere. I found these beautiful celery Kimball lounge chairs and outdoor furniture, and I love the scallop detail. So when I was looking for umbrellas, I also did the scallop detail there. And we'll get to this area maybe later, but my custom lanterns on the back of the house also have a scalloped edge on it. And then I also have lights over here in the patio that have a scalloped edge. So I kind of went all out with the scallops in our backyard. And the metal roof is a scalloped edge roof. So, and then over here, this is actually a new structure, which is our garage with an apartment above, and then our outdoor entertaining space. We couldn't get a patio off the back of the house because of the expansion. It got way too close to the pool. So we decided just to move it all over here to this structure, and it's great. We have our built-in barbecue, a nice little bar area, a cabana bath for when we have people out here swimming and all wet, they don't have to trample through the house. And then this is our patio seating, and we come out here often, watch football, we can make a fire. This is my Pennsylvania bluestone, the ode to New England. So we just really enjoy it out here. Welcome to my kitchen. This beautiful stone is actually a quartzite. We used to have marble in our own old home, which I absolutely love. But from a durability standpoint, my husband was pretty adamant that there was no more marble to be had in my kitchen. But I think this is a beautiful alternative, and it's held up perfectly in a hardworking kitchen. The house ended right here, so we had to put a support beam for the expansion, and sadly it was not centered on the room. So I had a great architect, his name's William Briggs, come in and design this beautiful ceiling of kind of board on board and beams, and just made it super interesting, and to me feels very New England as well. My lanterns here I found at the lamp shop and fell in love with them. I was told that they were found as an antique, and they were generous enough to share the paint color that they used to paint these old lanterns. And I went ahead and ordered some Wayfair lanterns for a fraction of the price, and I had them painted the exact same color. And then the lamp shop provided the custom shades on all of the fixtures. So I think that's a really fun and creative way to save some money and also mix some high and low, and so that was a fun project for me. This being a west-facing window, I do have full-length functioning drapery just to keep the heat out in the afternoon, and a perfect spot to grow some herbs right there in the window. So this is kind of the sink area. And then over here is where I have our everyday plateware. I replicated the leaded glass that we have in the dining room here as well. And instead of putting a traditional cabinet here, I thought it would be fun to just have a sliding cabinet. And I keep all of our blue and white, our china in here. These also were my grandmother's. So it's just a pretty way to keep things displayed and also accessible to be able to use all the time. So I do use my grandmother's china, which is a blue onion, as my everyday. So this is it. This is the smaller plate. The dinner plate's over there. The rest of them are in the dishwasher. But they're used every day, and I just say, why not use them? Life's too short, and I don't want to just keep them hidden and in a special spot. I know that she would be very happy that we're using them every single day. I grew up in El Paso, Texas, which is on the border of Mexico. And so one of my trips home, we went over the border, and I found these Mexican glasses with some pretty etching inside of them. So this is our glassware that we use every day. So I think that every house doesn't just need a junk drawer, they need a junk room. So what you're not seeing is the mud room / pantry / junk room. So everything has been moved into there for today's shoot. Before we walk upstairs, I just wanted to show you our powder bath. I designed it as a jib door so that it's completely camouflaged with the rest of the paneling. It's a little hard to see, but when you open it, it's like a little jewel box inside. It is a tiny bathroom. It's under the stairs. So I had to be really creative with the sink that I chose. And I skirted the sink to hide all the plumbing behind. And a little unexpected decor in here is a collection of oyster plates, but I thought the colors complemented the wallpaper so well. All right, let's head upstairs. So here we are in the hallway upstairs. What I love about this hallway is the tone-on-tone pinstripe wallpaper. And to complement that, I found these prints at Round Top. Blakely Lively is the artist, and had them framed traditionally, but I think they're I call them my modern botanicals, I think. Welcome to my bedroom. If you haven't already noticed, my favorite color is blue and white. So I love my quadrille paper. It's also in a stripe pattern. I put stripes in every single one of my designs, including the blue and white pinstripe on my drapery. My bed, it was actually a wedding gift, so it means a lot to us. Added some Deporto prints on the bed. One of my new favorite things also to incorporate in my design is to always have a reading light, easily accessible. I have a switch right here. And then the decorative lamp to the side. I think it's a little difficult to be turning on a decorative lamp after when you're ready to go to sleep. So having a easy on-off reading light is important in my designs. So also as my bedside tables, instead of using a typical bedside table, used some antique pieces that I had passed down to me. This chest of drawer I think is really, really beautiful. And this was actually my great-grandmother's desk. I remember playing on it when I was younger, and it's got water stain marks on it and all the things, but I think that's what adds character. And again, I don't think that any furniture should be so special that you can't use it, you can't enjoy it. So I use it as a bedside table. My closet here is not huge. So when we were renovating the house, we built this wardrobe for my husband. So this is all his, and I get the whole master closet. So this is an addition. Home, I think, means to me, again, a feeling of warmth and comfort. When I think back about how I got into interior design as well when I was a kid, I kind of feel like it was a sixth sense. I was very influenced by how I felt in my surroundings. And so for me, home is truly feeling at home, and that's comfort and having, a mix of new furniture, but also pieces that mean something to you, whether you bought them on a travel or, you got it from your grandmother's house. It needs to all be incorporated into the design.
Thanks for watching. For more Homeworthy content, be sure to like and subscribe.